Do you know if she can? I doubt it. If she activates her ult, can she get out of Mars Arena, gentlemen? Because it bounces her
Oh,
backwards. I'll say
huh.
no, probably.
Yeah,
Hard to say. I mean, you
no.
do get a little bit of height, and I know the Mars Arena is based
Mm.
off of the height. Like if somebody gets tusk punched and then speared, they just fly over the arena, which is one of the dumbest things. But that is how it goes in Dota. Man, I actually think this Hoodwink hero is. I don't know if I want to say busted, but I mean she feels kind of annoying. Legitimately, I know you. It sounds crazy, but people have been spamming it a lot in pubs. It's coming back in a big way as a 4 and a 5, and I think the reason for it is because the bushwhack radius being extended, it makes it feel like kind of a mini vacuum, and it's got as much uptime as Lena's W, which is one of the reasons that you pick that hero and that she always comes into the meta. Of course, you need the talent to get to that point on Hoodwink, but it's a level 10 talent. So it really seriously does feel like just the amount of disable that she offers and utility is really annoying, on top of the fact that the Q was buffed, so it does more raw damage and it does less scaling damage. And so it makes it a lot better as a support for securing range creeps and going for these like support items that don't really do a ton of damage, because she already has damage from the Q now. So there's a whole lot of reasons, but it does feel really annoying to play against Hoodwink. Like she's the type of hero you have to kill first, otherwise you lose the fight. And she can die. She's very squishy.
Yeah. In those past drafts, it felt like it came out as just like a break option when Viper was already taken off the table. Here it's picked up, and it was picked up before the Mars. So Mars was picked into the Hoodwink.
I
So
think
Sad
Mars
Boys just kind of
actually
have their own thing.
kind of counters Hoodwink because she's in the trees. Your spear is just going to latch immediately. Yeah, she breaks him, but I mean, it's a freaking Mars. It's not like
He
he's
doesn't.
going to
Yeah.
be dealing that much damage anyway. It's kind of whatever. I mean, I don't, I'm not, I kind of am memeing a bit. I don't think Hoodwink's a terrible hero. I just think it's maybe not as good as some other picks you could be picking up right now. And I think teams are experimenting a bit. That is definitely a thing. Not a, every
Ooh.
tree game. Okay, at least they're going outside the box, but this does not align with the American cheeseburger strat, gentlemen. You have the worst double bubble of all time, the Mars Arena into tree and protect. Like it's no chrono black hole. It's like a poor man's version of that. Not sure how to feel.
A lot of team fight. But
Hmm.
yeah, and now they're going to spearhead the lineup with the Drow Ranger, saying, let's turn up the juice, let's turn up the pacing a bit, and try to go for strong lanes and momentum that could just close this game out sooner than later, which is interesting, right? Because I don't know, I look at the Sad Boys lineup, and it's not a lineup where I'm like, gosh, we got to end it right away. But yeah, nonetheless, it's an idea that the Cut are going to look to fall through on. And on the other side, Sad Boys pulling out the Lone Druid, which is not super new to us in the NA scene, but seems a bit new for Sad Boys, right? Who is playing this?
That's a good question, actually. I mean, I would guess Fear. I've literally never seen Ryoya play this hero, but I feel like people are picking it mostly as a mid these days.
It's not really a Fear carry type either. I mean, Fear's been playing Dota since, Dota was a wee baby, so I'm sure he has experience playing every hero in the game. Don't
Jenkins
get
was
me
in
wrong, but
diapers when
man.
Fear was competing. That's why he had to watch True Sight to gain
Well,
information
to be
about
fair,
Fear.
I am literally wearing a diaper right now, so that doesn't say much.
That's true.
It's, uncontrollable issues down there, but we won't get into that.
I like how they picked the Lone
Huh.
Druid. I mean, the question is, who's this Oracle going to be teamed up with in the mid game? It's not like you're not. Can you put that on the bear? The false promise?
I don't see why not,
I
right?
think so. Yeah, I mean, you could use it on like creeps and stuff. So yeah, I mean, I would.
Yeah.
There are some things that like weirdly can't be placed on the bear though. It's a very strange. Like you can't pudge dismember with the ag shard, the lone druid bear for some reason. It just says like unknown error whenever you try to do it. It's the dumbest thing.
Pudge doesn't like to eat bears. It has to be rotting meat.
Like dismember Ursa. I guess Ursa is just rotting and festered.
Yeah, what if it was based
Rude.
off of their theme, whether you can eat them or not?
That's a great idea. We should have
Ice Frog,
types, damage types in Dota.
I'll take commission.
Okay.
My great ideas.
Storm again. Doesn't feel like the greatest Storm game. I mean, it's a backline jump to get the Hoodwink and the Oracle. That's definitely some advantage I think that they're going for with this hero. They want a killer, an assassin. But
I mean, do they have a trusty bit of lockdown for the Storm outside of? I don't know what the Hoodwink toolkit is. That reliable enough to stop the Storm?
That's the thing, is like there's nothing like super reliable. But if you get caught, if you get like just clipped by any of these stuns, like you're dead to these heroes. You're so dead.
Okay, final pick is going to be an Ember. That means that it is Fear on the Lone Druid. That is your draft. Gentlemen, give it to me. Is this the Cut's last game on Season 2, or are they going to take us to a game number 3? Jenkins, you said I should go to you first. I'm here. What do you want?
I'm going to go Sad Boys because I feel like this is very pubby, this series, and I think Sad Boys lineup looks like the stronger pub lineup.
Suns fan.
Yep, I agree. The Cut did not go for the Fat Man version of, I don't know how many times we can talk about this, but the tree, I do not believe in this hero right now, but I'm willing to be proven wrong. I hope I am.
All right, will the Cut get us to that special game 3, or will the Sad Boys clinch their first series of Season 2? We head to a break. When we come back, it's time to give you Lyrical, Parker, and Pop-Tart.
Beep, beep. Beep, beep.
All right, welcome back, Dota fans. We're here, game number 2 on the line. Parker, we're back to the Storm Spirit again, but this time a new creature approaches. The Fear Lone Druid, rarely seen but much appreciated. How you doing? How you feeling about these drafts?
Doing good, excited. We get something a bit different here. A bit of the same, but quite a bit of new. We got some Drow, we got some Lone Druid, we got another Hoodwink. Kind of agree with Jenkins. This hero at times has looked busted and maybe kind of question, like, you know, more teams maybe need to consider this Hoodwink. You know, when MSS was first picking in Quincy Cruz games, I don't think that was a meme.
No, I think that, you know, obviously trying out things, but trying out doesn't mean it's a meme. You know, sometimes there's good things. I was trying to make like a meme reference there, but I just couldn't do it. It's not in my blood right now. I'm too excited for this game.
I like this from Sad Boys, the way they get Monster the Bash charges too from Roche. They make sure he doesn't get hit by Roche in the process. That's very clever.
Nice. You know, I will say, with all these LDs coming back into town and the Blight Stones, all these little minus armory things, I keep on thinking about that level 1 Roche, and I always anticipate it happening. But sadly, again, it's going to be another game with no level 1 Roche.
Yeah. We get level 1 towers now. That's the new strat.
Exactly. That's the dream. You could do both. Imagine if you did both. You take Roche and then you run straight to mid, take that tower. The dream.
That would be impressive, because you have to use a lot of regen and salves and stuff, I feel like, to take Roche. So if you could do that and get a 5-man tower, I'd tip my hat to whoever could pull that off.
Okay. Well, maybe it'll be in the cards further on down the line. Maybe, you know, if there was an Arkosh player that was listening in or something, you know, we could end up seeing that our second series as well. We'll have to see. But regardless, we're going to get underway here. And you can see down bottom, with this tree, you'd anticipate it being a slightly better lane, I would imagine, for the Drow. But at the same time, God, Z-Freak is just very annoying to deal with that bushwhack.
Yeah. They just instantly go in with the already primed bash, get the bushwhack to follow it up, the minus armor from the Blightstone with the, you know, the double gauntlet Slardar, making him tankier and giving him more damage. It's very annoying, but I do feel like Treant is one of the heroes better equipped for a lane like this than most.
Okay. Well, and of course, we're going to have the interesting dynamic of 2 tree-oriented heroes in this lane.
Yeah. That's... Both heroes rely on the trees kind of being there later on, it feels like.
Right. And meanwhile, up top, a little bit of going on here early to try and secure that range creep with the little Shredder, and then afterwards into the God's Rebuke. But Fear, obviously a very strong laner on this Lone Druid. I mean, I never know quite how to like rate this as far as like the lanes. Is it a dominator, or is it just like you anticipate getting your farm in this lane? How worried do you have to be if you're Vol or Tinkle King at this point as the levels go up?
I think not very worried. Lone Druid's just kind of like a static farmer. But unlike most of the static farmer carries, you can pressure in lanes like your anti-mages, your drows. Lone Druid's just not a hero you can really pressure because he's got this annoying bear in front of him. you try and chip away at the bear and try and snipe a bear kill. That's kind of, I think, how you play against Lone Druid in lane generally, unless you have a good way to kind of get on top of him and go for kills.
Right. Which doesn't really feel like it's going to be that viable at all.
But when bear gets, maybe level 4, level 5, does get a bit more kill threat as the Spirit Bear levels up.
Will be something to watch for sure. And then, of course, the matchup mid, which last time around, very boring. This time, you get the two spirits facing off against each other. Oftentimes hear people talk about Storm Spirit being a counter to Ember, just being able to burn through that, the Flame Guard pretty quickly. But it often feels like you just sort of both heroes get their farm, and that's the end of it.
Yeah, it's very much, as far to the extent it's a counter, it's a lane counter, I think. You can see reflected in the CS, 7 denies for Storm with the 14 last hits. So, but once you get out of the lane stage, I think Ember's a hero that just causes Storm's problem. Has that long range gap close plus root that Storm has to deal with. And you have to worry about the Storm Orchid timing, but I feel like an Ember can threaten to kill a Storm without a knife timing.
Yeah, true enough. A couple nice denies there as well. And as has sort of been the case, at least for now, getting the bounty rune, or rather both of the water runes. Royo will probably try and trade off again. Not really worth it for these supports to rotate in and try and secure one or deny it away from the other. Just the value of being able to stay strong in a lane is so important right now.
Yeah, I've definitely had no qualms at all with Lil Nick's laning stage. He's looked very good as far as the lanes go. It's just more in the mid game when he starts having to make some moves where he can be a bit hit or miss.
Balance in all things.
Vol contesting up top a little bit now for the pull that got off there to the side, having both of those camps open. Seeing them fight for lane equilibrium. It's actually going to end up favoring Tingle King a little bit here, getting it underneath the tower. That'll be good for him.
Yeah, he's the one core that's maybe struggling a bit this time around. Only the 12 last hits, so big creep wave coming to his tower, and I think that will help, fix some of those CSing woes that he's been experiencing.
And head on over for the bounty. Roya pushes out the wave afterwards. Super simple one. Even going to glyph the wave, actually, to keep it here long enough for him to come back into position.
Okay. Nice. Very nice. The one hero, I think where we might start seeing some kill threat is going to be these supports up top. Oracle level 3 can dish out a lot of damage with that Purifying Flame. So, if they get a nice Entangle and Claws off, perhaps maybe they want the Lone Druid level 5 for that longer duration. That's where we could see a kill perhaps on somebody like Vol on the Snapfire now that some levels are up.
Okay. As down bottom there again, Pingu just trying to play himself over in a safe angle and maybe try and secure the range creep or what have you here for Scourge McDuck, as they weren't quite able to get that deny off in time. And also going to be queuing up the Fortune's End up top there as well. But I think that they're going to try and go for a kill. Could they get it? Chance, couple right clicks, but he's going to manage to make his way out of there. And Pingu chasing with the Leech Seed onto Monster. Very tanky on the Slardar. Hard to kill.
Yeah, but you can see this lane is starting to swing Radiant's way. Monster has to run in and use a Crush just to save the Hoodwink, and then he takes like 300 damage himself. So, Monster lost like almost half his health pool, and they almost kill Hoodwink, and they do no damage in the process. That was just to get a couple last hits. So, the cut starting to get stronger and stronger down here, and it does feel like a lane where someone like Ember may have to rotate towards.
And obviously really good at being able to do that, get on top of Drow, but could be a problem if he gets caught in that gust or what have you afterwards.
And first rune, going to go Storm's way.
Oh, nice. Illusion picked up there as well. Roya, meanwhile, heads on back to farm up the camps and get his bounty, as up top, keeping that pressure on again. Maybe with this medallion coming out soon now on Vol, he's got that completed, they could try and go for a kill onto the bear. For some extra gold there, but I don't know. It's still feeling kind of tough. We'll see. Instead, turn on to Moo, hitting him in the back lines.
That's just a level 2 Lil Shredder with Medallion, and yeah, Moo really suffers. Face Edict not going to help you there as far as casting on yourself. Perhaps you can cast offensively, but yeah, this is going to get tricky for the Dire side.
All of the lanes looking really good right now for the cut. At the very least, breaking even, it feels like. As chase down got on a fear, actually. The bear nowhere to be found, and he goes down. Tingle King gets that first blood.
Just, yeah, 6 spear into the tower. I think usually when you're worried about the Mars spear, you're not thinking about getting skewered into buildings as much as you are trees. So fear just wasn't really dodging the line. Vol almost dies up top, but de-aggro's just in time.
Well, and I think part of that too was the desire to, or it was the cookie first coming from Vol that was able to catch him out, and they won't keep that catapult alive, unfortunately. And well, some pretty good damage onto the tower nonetheless. As down bottom, going on to Monster, trying to get some extra damage in, but he'll just TP out of there. No breaks yet in this lane for the TP.
Bit of a role reversal. This time it's the Cut, who are having a far more successful laning stage. Last game they kind of lost 2.5 lanes. This time around they're winning 2.5 lanes.
Z-Freak gonna move over. Nick realizes the danger, and good decision. Probably would have died there with that haste rune. Getting picked up by Roya. You know, it might just be a Radiant thing. I think that's what it is. You know, just better side.
Sure. Better rune luck, it seems like, on the Radiant side. Although, it was Ember getting the haste rune at 8 minutes, so we'll see what he can do.
True. Yeah, where would you like to see him try and move with this, or... Oh, wait, are they just going to go for him? Cookie, he has the Remnant out, but pull, no, wasn't quite enough damage. Still, good amount of aggression going on there, and now the haste rune going to be caught by Roya. Moves in. Flame Guard's still working. Volt trying to get into position quickly enough. Can he do it? No! Nick can't live through the rotation as Roya makes a sick play.
Yeah, nice from him. Just recognizing that Storm had committed too much going for that kill and he could just turn it around. But the move from Sadboys is going to come bottom. I was about to say, I don't feel like Moo is needed to play around Fear anymore. You know, Lone Druid, do you see this hero when you're playing in the safe lane? You just, after like securing his lane, you just go and help mid as well as bottom lane. So... Fear is going to be playing alone. He is gankable. Someone like Storm could consider rotating with the Mars arena. But ultimately, Oracle being there, I just feel like doesn't do a whole lot.
Right. And that is one thing that's kind of nice about Oracle in the early goings is he has some pretty solid damage. Purifying Flames level 3 already. Can definitely blow people up or at least help to. But Nick is down here bottom. Runs into everybody. Roya catches them with the root. The silence afterwards only on the Oracle, but it might be enough. Roya, Flame Guard still working there as the chase down continues. Nick is farming creeps, and Arena eventually comes out. Good play by Roya to dodge away from that damage. Now turning onto Z-Freak, trying to get that kill. Roya still has a big mana pool, the root, but then they have to walk away as it is a big fight win for the Cut. That is what they needed.
They bring all 5, but I'm totally okay with that. They kind of needed every hero they brought. The Mars showing up with a perfect arena. And there were some nice individual plays like Ryoya, dodging at himself out of the arena, pushing the Flame Guard to the limit. At the end of the day, the Cut just strategically, it's the exact move that they made last game that Sadboys read and responded to by having superior numbers. The Cut do the exact same thing. It feels like this dire move down bottom is just being telegraphed every single game we've had so far.
I'm telling you, it's a Radiant thing.
Yeah.
It's back again. 4-1 start, 1,000 gold lead. They are also, in a position here where you could make that move onto Fear like you're talking about. Still a little ways away on Orchid. I want to see where Nick TPs, because they've already got the Snapfire mid, so they might just opt to, use her to defend the tower. Although
he comes in mid too. They've got an overgrowth.
Going. They're going to take this fight. Okay, Nick zips in. Ew, they wanted that pull real bad. That would have been huge.
A pull into an overgrowth would have been a dead Ember, but he managed to... The sleight of fist meant that Storm kind of lost vision and couldn't grab him, so... Again, good plays from Ryoya. He's played pretty flawlessly so far this game. It is still the Cut advantage, despite how well Ryoya's played, though.
And they're going to move back in again. Just the Phase Boots Orb of Corrosion, and now they're going to jump right on Scourge McDuck. Good silence out. That stopped him from getting caught, and also not going to be able to find it with the Sharpshooter. Scourge McDuck backing away. Where's his team? Is anybody here? They're chasing underneath the tier 2 tower. There has to be some help here. But nobody can move. Whether it's a lack of TPs or what have you, but that is painful.
Only Mars had a TP. The supports were TPing from mid to bottom, I believe, and then Storm just doesn't have one, so...
Well, a chance here. Roya moves back in. Do they have anything to bring him down in time? He's very low. Sleight of fist to live. Roya does eventually go down there, as Monster also going to take some tower shots. Pingu doing a lot with the little, and won't be able to keep the tower alive nor bring down Monster. But Roya's dead at least, and now Nick showing up, wants to play cleanup, gets the kill, gets stunned. I'll find it dandy.
Yeah, good move from Storm to clean up, but imagine if he was there like 5 seconds earlier. The Hoodwink was on 25% health. He could have killed both Hoodwink and Slardar and probably saved his Treant. So feeling like it's a little bit late. In Tingle King, same thing. Didn't TP in. And once that tower's down, suddenly you can't TP and take that fight. So, you know, he's kind of committed and can't rotate the same way as Storm can. But yeah, it does feel like the cut could have been winning even bigger in those fights.
Right. Well, and this to me has sort of been one of the stories of you know, the cut in general, is that they sort of have that good play, but it comes after that one step back, you know, and it's a bit of a struggle. We'll see if they can sort of pull it together here and, you know, keep up the momentum that they built through the early game. But now it's back to even, and Fear has basically been left alone to get his farm on, has the Mask of Madness style going in for the Mjolnir next.
Yeah, it's one of those plays that, you know, reminds me of like CSGO where people can play, oh, you know, he's just baiting his teammates. Like, obviously, Lil Nick is not doing that. He could have just rotated a bit sooner. But, you know, the end result is, you know, his game's looking good and like he's in a great position. But, you know, I feel like, you know, your EGs, your Quincy Crews, they would have been there before the fight even broke out, predicting it, and would have completely destroyed the team fight and be in a much less even game.
It is a, at very least, smoke rotation over that will be interrupted, and then counter smoke coming. I think we're going to caught sight of that one. And yeah, he's going to back out now. Fear is still in the area, though. He's got to be a little bit careful. Are they going to rotate towards him? No. They're going to... Well, maybe they will afterwards.
They only have 3 heroes, though. I'm not a huge fan of this play from the cut. I feel like they should be bringing that 4th hero.
Oh, Fear knew. Dude, this little hidey hole here, he's
gonna
made
turn
for
this.
himself. Well, a chance.
Well, maybe he's going to die.
Okay, there's a lot of damage out. I mean, 4 points of Little Shredder's no joke. They blow up the Lone Druid, but can they all get out afterwards? Amp damage on Nick, tries to get out, but the TP's not going to be there in time. And now, after having lost 2, Tingle King also in some trouble as they remnant forward, try and find this kill onto the Mars, and they will get him to boot.
Yeah, I mean, that kind of was Fear turning it, but they are, you know, taking some tower damage mid. But yeah, that was kind of like a 3v5 type play. Like, yeah, not all 5 heroes kind of ended up coming for sadboys, but theoretically they could, you know, you're making that aggressive play next to an enemy outpost, next to an enemy tier 1 tower. Everybody can TP in, and you only have 3 heroes. That just doesn't work. You have to bring at least 4 while the Drow farms. You can't have both Drow and Treant taking a lane each and make such an aggressive play.
And that is one of the problems that we've seen run into a little bit every now and then. But again, getting the kill onto Lone Druid, 1 step forward, 1 step back. And now it's sadboys with a slight lead. And we're getting closer to that Blink Dagger on Monster.
Yeah, and I think, you know, there was a world where I think sadboys make very tiny misplay, or perhaps just, you know, they're reacting. It's hard to call it even a misplay. Like if Oracle TPs first and gets close enough for a false promise, or Fear stays hidden in the trees, maybe he even survives, but still a good result for sadboys regardless.
Well, now the pressure towards mid. They find an opening here onto Oracle, just left completely alone, and that is the pick-off that you anticipate getting. So a nice play there, and good recognition by the cut that they could just go for that easy kill. Nick finds one.
Yeah. I think these, you know, you can see there's these 3 heroes, the
What is
Mars.
happening here? He's just like wandering through the jungle and finds Fear.
Back at top river though, there's an arena.
Okay, it's down.
Rio's got DD.
Oh god, get out of there. I mean, this is looking really, really bad. Nick is in the area. I don't know if they're going to be able to keep him alive, but maybe a chance. The pole is there. Scorchman just gets the tree armor out, walking away the gust afterwards, and barely dodges the sharpshooter. Oh, support saving lives right there on the side of the cut. Pingu now trying to back out, but the treant will be brought down. Wow. It goes down, and they only lose the tree for it. I can't believe the Scorch McDuck lived there.
Yeah. The living armor, I think he even had a solar crest on him, everything combining just to keep him alive against a double damage Ember who, you know, you can't really blame Ryoya for going aggressive there. He just got caught by a perfectly timed overgrowth as he basically came in on the remnant. He got instantly rooted, so Really good defensive play from the cut. Love what we saw there, and punishing Ryoga.
Absolutely. They do scout out. There's this movement that's heading up towards the top tower on this ward, and it looks like Sad Boys want to try and catch one that's connecting over to the side, and it's actually going to find a quick kill here onto Vol, it looks like. Does have a lot of armor on the Snapfire, and they managed to get the tower nonetheless. So, a little bit of a trade-off there as 2 tier 1 towers taken for the cut, and only 1 for Sad Boys.
Yeah, things have been a bit quiet, but that could change. Lone Druid with Mask of Madness and Maelstrom about to be completed. We might see Fear sync up with his team a bit soon. Sinking down bottom.
Yeah, found again. Just sort of playing this like sort of left alone dead hero that does have actually a good portion of the way towards a blink.
Yeah, he's been the resident bot laner for quite a while now.
Catch again. Raya going down. Raya dead. What a pick off. And Storm now goes for the big jump onto Hoodwink. Deep Freak also gonna fall. Moo can't get there in time for the save.
The cut just making some style plays.
And now Monster goes in, wanted to try and find the kill with Moo. That was not gonna work. Does get saved by Moo in the end. But now the Snapfire ulti going out as well. Fate's Edict doing a pretty good job trying to keep him alive, but it's not gonna work. Moo's gonna fall, or Monster's gonna fall here. Ends up dropping, and now Fear also gets jumped on. Tries to get saved. They missed on that Purifying Flames. Hits again onto Tingle King. He tanked it twice, which meant Fear got no healing. And they managed to find themselves 3 core pickoffs after taking down the 2 supports. What a great series of events for the cut.
Yeah, they just went in and just played together as 5, and when you have the numbers to back you up, you're not afraid to go for that one more kill, because it was very much like, okay, they got 1 kill. Okay, let's go for another. We have backup. They at no point were ever outnumbered, and
they got Ray again. Okay, not gonna go. I thought they were gonna gust him afterwards, but with Oracle close by, it's not gonna work.
And most importantly above everything is they played so fast, it was so fast-paced that Moo couldn't get there to respond with the false promise saves. They'd already lost 2 heroes before he actually shows up. And sure, he can get the save off on the Slardar, but Monster, you know, was kind of alone still, so he still died despite the false promise.
Yeah. Well, it's interesting. The question I have now is, like, this is always that timing where it's interesting what teams go for. Do they go to try and take that top tier tower? Do they try and force a fight? Do they just try and like walk into Roche? And every team feels like right now they have a bit of a different answer. And right now the cut starting to make the move up here. It feels like they're going to need Storm if they want to make this play though. And Nick is actually on a ward down bottom. As maybe they're trying to bait out Pingu again down here. But who's baiting who?
Yeah. I think Pingu... I guess with the Orca and Storm, they're kind of pretending that's Pingu playing down here alone. I'm surprised he's not actually going out to farm this creep wave. Maybe he's got that support mentality where it's like, oh, I've got to leave for my Storm. But...
yeah, that was a little bit weird, but they end up farming out the camp. And it works for them, right? This is 4 Sad Boys heroes down here bottom while Scorch McDuck and Vol are farming.
Yeah. I would have liked to see Pingu just throws, you know, body into the lane and basically play himself as bait, which is what's going to happen now. And this time around, I don't know if he's going to have backup. Monster blinked in, just didn't find him. So he will survive.
Throws out the grasp and just runs away. Yeah. He's so close to his blink dagger, too.
Yeah, I think if he did that when, you know, he had Storm and Mars backing him up, he perhaps could have made a play there. But this is much safer from the cut. They're going to be playing top and bottom, top and mid. They recognize Vol on his Snapfire wasn't there, so happy just to chill for now.
They place the Tinker Ward, have another one up on the top side here as the Nature's Grasp goes out again. Pingu just soaking up levels while up top. Throw out that spear, and Tingle King holding on and keeping the catapult alive, actually. So this is going to be a pretty good chunk of damage, but they don't have their tree. Sad Boys have everybody. Jumps in, Crush, Arena down. Looking for that spear, waits on it, connects now onto Slardar with the Yule Scepter lift up afterwards. Nick finds Fear up on the high ground, trying to pull him down, seeing if they can get the kill, and they do. They take down that lone druid, and well, Drow still there with Nick, the tree armor, and there's going to be the ulti on top of Monster. Gets saved by a move for the moment, and still needs to play his way out. So the blink away, Scourge McDuck again finding the bushwhack. Very annoying to play against, but they lost Nick. They were able to take down the Storm.
Yeah, he committed everything to kill Fear, which was the right play, but then Ember finds him. This is where we talked about how, these heroes can kind of both counter each other in many ways, and once he gets caught by a Searing Chains, a triple Fire Remnant lands on top of his head for a huge chunk of damage, and Tingle King at top may be in some trouble here.
He stuck around a bit too long.
Nice spear dodge. Yeah, that wasn't last fight. It wasn't the same amazing arena we've seen the previous ones, and that wasn't because Mars made a bad play. It was just Sad Boys recognized that they keep, getting destroyed by this arena. So they sent Ember in with Slaughter. Slaughter super tanky. He's not going to die to the arena, and Ember mobile. He can get in and out using those remnants.
Right, yeah.
There we
Gets
go.
jumped on here. He was invis and thought that he was safe, and they just turned around and killed him.
Okay.
Playing a little bit out there right now.
Very straightforward for the cut to get that pick off, then instantly smoke up, making an aggressive maneuver. They'd love to try and find another pick, maybe secure Roshan. And it looks like Zephyrd's gonna... Oh, yeah, get caught.
They'll pop overgrowth for that one, and yeah, I would anticipate either of that move top or going into Roshan. We'll see what they decide to do. As the cut head right on into the pit and ready to go. Can Sad Boys do anything to contest this in time? Doesn't feel like it.
Yeah, it doesn't feel like they have no way to really slow it down. They could buy time for Ember's respawn. Then yes, but it looks like they're going to be maybe 10 seconds too late. Yeah, not even more than that perhaps. So.
Well, Storm gets the first Aegis. And we'll see what they decide to do with it. Immediately smoking in, want to find Monster, jumps for that backline as they got sight of the Oracle. Nick found him, and he can play as aggressive as he wants with this Aegis right now.
Yeah. I think this suits Nick really well. He's such an aggressive mid laner. We talked about last game where he didn't have the best game because at times he's overextending. Well, being ahead and having an Aegis, he's going to look pretty damn good. And when he can just jump the Storm, the Oracle in the backlines, doesn't matter if he uses his entire mana pool and dies afterwards because he's got an Aegis, he's going to be winning his team fights.
Well, and this is what we saw them have the answer to last time was the vision down. This ward, which is about to expire, that's what allows him to make that crazy big jump right at the start. And now getting a tier 2 tower for their troubles could go and secure top and also get that outpost. We'll see what the Sad Boys plan is at this point, but not a whole lot they can do, it feels like.
Yeah, I think it's sit back, defend, but I don't feel great about their late game. Like, this Lone Druid hero has not felt very scary, and it doesn't really feel like Lone Druid's going to hit this item timing and suddenly become a beast. If anything, like, I feel like Drought, to me, should be really good against a Lone Druid. You just sit back and kill the Spirit Bear and slow it down with your Frost Arrows, so it's going to be really tough, I feel like, for Fear to have an impact on this game.
Well, that is definitely what it feels like, and you see another pickoff right there on the same ward. Actually, it did get taken away, but nonetheless, getting that secondary pickoff onto Oracle. Now, are we going to see the cut try and pull them back into the base right now? Sometimes teams would pressure the high ground just to get a little bit of TPs back, but it looks like, at least for now, not going to pressure too much.
Yeah, I think it's always a good move when you can. Basically denies your opponents from farming a bit, but seems like they want to just get all the jungle farm, take what they can get. They're not in a huge rush. A lot of teams rush things when they get this Aegis, thinking they got to go now, but Lil Nick, his BKB is 200 gold away, so you're far better off finishing that, coming back a minute from now, or looking for like kind of plays and pickoffs in the side, in the bottom lane or even the mid lane.
Ray
Yo-yo
showed
mid?
for a second.
Yeah.
Oh, man. That was
Always.
close.
And Lil Nick were both going to be ready for it.
What do you think of this Sanjin Kaya build on the Ember?
I was going to say it's fine, but I mean, it's like the latest hip thing. That's what it feels like. Everyone loves their Sanjas, and yeah, all these I've seen Storms go Sanjin Kaya before they even get like an Orchid some guys. And I was like, what is this?
You're feeling a little boomery. That's the old school Dota's
Yeah,
like, well, what is this stuff?
The boomer in me definitely does not like it. You know, I think the Yule's BKB straight into BKB maybe would have made sense when you're playing against several silences, plus the overgrowth. So there's a lot of things you need BKB against this game.
Ooh, glyph used right after the tier 1 tower got taken there. Oh, but it did the refreshy thing, so it's still ready again.
Yeah, if you slightly mistime it, it still resets. I'm not sure exactly how much forgiveness you get, but yeah.
Nonetheless, it is a 7,000 gold lead right now. Pretty good warding all across the board. You can see this just line of observers, so they know that for now sadboys sort of stuck in that over area.
Yeah.
Jump. Good zip away.
And they're not going to chase, yeah. You can Yules off the Orchid. I mean, the thing is, the defensive Yules on the Orchid, if you have someone like Snapfire there, you can set up a Fire Snap cookie out of it. Perhaps you could Spear out of it. Whoa!
Whoa.
Speaking of Mars.
Tingle King lost his mind for a moment.
That's all your high ground, my friend.
I mean, he felt strong, but they were all there. Oh no, are they going to be able to snowball more of these?
Yeah.
They caught sight of him. Bull's caught. Does throw out the Lotus Orb because he has that item apparently. And well, with the tree armor, now Pingu gets the root onto all of them. But where's the help? Is nobody showing up for this? They're just gonna let him get away with that, I guess.
Yeah, I get it was very much. I think very much okay. Just let him die and let's not fight. And then the second hero gets going, it's like, well, we already decided not to fight. We don't have our Mars, so I think it's the right decision just to let him die. Because if, you know, Storm or Drow shows up and they take a fight and lose it, that's terrible. You know, you're throwing away your lead. So just giving 2 kills is like, you know, you'd rather do a little baby throw than like a, you know, big proper adult throw.
Right. This was like a teenager throw, losing 2.
Yeah, exactly.
Trying to work out their identity a little bit. As Monster gets the Corrosive Haze there, and Scorching McDuck immediately going to TP out. Has, I think now, with the BKB on Storm and Roche expiring, do they kind of have to just wait for that next one, or can they still play pretty aggressively on the map right now, you think, on the cut?
I think they might want to... I mean, waiting for Tingle's BKB is nice and all, but I think more than anything, they do want to play together. It doesn't mean they have to go making some crazy forced fights, but as long as they're together, they can fight without this Mars BKB. And also, they want vision. They want to be able to catch the Oracle, so they have this nice ward in the bottom lane right outside the Dire base, if they can, you know, be... And also, in mid lane, they have 2 really nice wards, so if they ever are able to catch Moo and jump them, they can take a fight, but otherwise, you don't really want to overcommit on a frontline hero that's going to get saved by a false promise. That's how you can throw the game.
True enough. You know, it's interesting. We were talking about the good vision from the cut, but I also realizing that they have some decent ones on sadboys too. This little triangle here has scouted a lot of the movements and has allowed sadboys to not fall further behind like we normally see.
Yeah, and usually a team, you know, you've got a, you know, they had like an 8k gold lead. They had Aegis on Storm. That's where, even if you don't go high ground, which I don't think they could with their draft, they should have had full map control. They should have kept both mid and top lane pushed out, maybe even bottom with the tree. They should have been dewarding the entire map. So just the fact they're a newer team, I think this is very much a game they're going to look back on and learn from.
Tingle King, BKB comes out immediately. The fear was there as well. And Monster, after the BKB, can't actually convert with the kill. And now...
Back up.
Jump from downtown, finds Monster. Nick pops his own BKB, tried to spear him to the tree, but it didn't quite have the angle. And, well, they will kill off the bear. A big commitment for that first BKB.
Yeah, he had no backup. I think a bit of miscommunication perhaps from sadboys where Monster saw an opening to go, but his teammates didn't. They're gonna, now they see another opening. They're going back in.
Okay. Jumps in, tries to find the spear. There's no trees over there, though, at all. Now trying to find this kill onto the Hoodwink, seeing if they can get that kill first. Running away on Scorch McDuck. Can they do it? Ryoya might just carry it bearless without him. As the root is there onto Nick, tries to get away.
Right
3 are down. Fear just came in and punched them. Who needs a bear?
Exactly. He's just a melee form bear using his claws.
He has 3 iron branches.
You know, he was doing some good damage there with the Corrosive Haze. I think it was more Monster than him, but yeah. I mean, great jump. I think completely, it caught me by surprise, and I think it definitely caught the cut by surprise. They weren't ready for that. Some good defensive plays from Vol, popping the Lotus Orb on the Drow to get rid of the Corrosive Haze. They kept Drow alive for a long, long time, despite the jump that, was a big surprise to them. But yeah, Sadboys just happy to force a fight, and I'm really impressed by that. They had one bear that died, and they still made it work. They didn't even have Slaughter with BKB as well.
Right. It's a lot. I mean, but I guess, with Snapfire ulti being down from that last little skirmish that they had, and Roya's newly minted BKB that he was able to use. Also didn't mention it, but this Cloak of Flames, being paired together with that Kaya Sange, there's a lot of damage that's getting thrown out. Spell Lamp Talon at 20, he's scary.
Yeah, Cloak of Flames, nice item to have, I feel. Fear's got himself a quickening charm, he's like, my Spirit Bear's on cooldown, pass it over quick.
Yeah, exactly.
I need it. Yeah, his bear looks like paper. He's got this plate mail, which I have to assume is going on that Spirit Bear because his bear is melting to the minus armor from Snapfire, and that is a big, big problem.
Totally. He did take the Talon even too, but still just not quite enough.
Yeah.
So we'll see how it works out for them. And in the meantime, the cut, they can't afford to lose another one here. Another fight, but they aren't able to connect onto Roya either. I mean, this is the thing that's scary. Big zip from downtown. Nick again just caught a glimpse of him underneath that ward as he was passing by, and did the little geometry to find him.
Yeah, it's like kind of like Nick's crazy. Used up not many storms. Use up 89% of their mana pool for a kill like that. But when his teammates weren't really backing him up because they can't jump that deep. So
Yeah.
Sadboys were playing around mid and bottom though, and I think Lil Nick knew that.
All right, this is what the cut need to try and look for a closeout of this game. Roche with the Aghanim Shard and the cheese. This is big.
Yeah, this is nice. I think Drow is taking the shard. Yep.
Okay.
Good old hypothermia.
It's like so weird to have like a medical condition in the game of Dota. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But we'll see if they're gonna get frosted up.
Yeah, it's not very magical sounding. Usually everything, frost arrows and stuff like that.
You're in danger of death, real life death. Be careful. Scourge McDuck.
I don't know if closing out this game is going to be that straightforward, and we're going to see that here.
Yeah, it's not easy. Nick jumps in onto nobody, but
their high ground defense is really good on the Sadboy side.
Yeah, there is some danger here. Roya also has a DD bottled up, ready to go, and just finished his Aghanim Scepter. Okay. Might be time.
Okay.
I mean, that's the thing that's weird about this is like they just got Aegis, but I also feel like Sadboys are hitting like an item timing almost. They don't have the AC yet done on the Spirit Bear, but just having that plate mail alone is pretty nice. And I think almost has enough for the blade mail if you want to finish that off too. Not sure if he's going to.
Oh, yeah, not going for the full AC, just in for a little cheeky blade mail. I think it's good because it means basically, hey, it's basically saying, hey, you can kill my Spirit Bear, but if I pop my blade mail, you're going to be punished for killing it.
Right.
And it just gives it more armor. Armor and down. I mean, all the stats you get from it are great for the bear. So against a drow, well, that could cause some problems. Scorpion Duck is going to have to think twice about popping that Spirit Bear, or maybe even consider popping his BKB.
True. Well, anything else that's really coming out for the cut? They have 2 Lotuses, so they've got like all these things to buff up Scourge McDuck, but he, like with the Aegis, he's got to be the one hitting those buildings, and it's not easy. The wrap. Oh, the DD. Royoya, he found the backline. It's Pingu. Maybe they get it, though. The arena's already down, catching onto that Oracle, trying to kill him off, and they will. The fear comes out afterwards, though, on a low
Great fear.
Do they have any save for him? Just pops the cheese, turns to the BKB. He's going to be okay, but Scourge McDuck loses his life once.
He's going to get bashed, though.
Can they do anything else afterwards? Cookie came in, trying to get out of there. Vol taking a lot of damage, just burning down to Royoya, right on top of Scourge McDuck, as he will not quite connect on his Z-Freak for the kill.
Oh.
They have to TP out. And they did
Luckily
so
for
much
Drow.
damage.
Yeah, I mean, they not so luckily they get crushed in the fight, but luckily Monster had used his bash to take out the Storm Spirit, chase him down, so there wasn't a bash to stop Drow CP, but they just, get the perfect jump. They jumped the Treant Protector. The Mars Arena is just no longer feeling like as big of a threat as it once did, and it almost feels like they're over prioritizing an Oracle. I get, it's an Oracle. You got to kind of kill them first, but you don't need to throw an Arena plus a Storm Zip to do that. Like, they throw every single spell they have, like the big ones, to take out an Oracle, and it felt like they just had to play things a little bit slower and little bit more, concise there. The Storm didn't need to jump if they're going to get the Oracle in the Mars Arena. And yeah, Fear coming along. I love this Blade Mail pickup. I think it's made a world of difference for him and his bear. It means his bear is just no longer under constant threat of going down. And
Oof, those graphs. I agree. It's been really good recognition by Sadboys of what they need to do. And I think, like you're talking about, that realization of, oh, they committed heavily on Oracle. Let's just buy back, get me into the fight. He ends up diebacking still, but I mean, he's the only one that died in that. And we do, I mean, in the course of that fight, Roya did more damage than the entire Radiant team. He's just a monster right now. He's got these items, and his net worth has stayed relevant. He just sits on top of the Drow. What does she do?
Oh, for sure. And this is where the Kayan Sands, feels amazing. He's got a Spell Prism to go with it, too. Unless Fear, demands it. But I think Fear is happy enough maybe with the Quickening Charm. I'm sure Rio is just like, come on, like, look how much I'm doing in the fight. Like, you being able to resummon your bear an extra, 7.25 seconds faster with the Spell Prism. Not worth it.
Not at all.
And Rio, using all these spells to full effect now. With level 25 Ember, he's just going to be throwing remnants all over the battlefield.
Well, this is going to be a tough one, like you said, a tough high ground siege. And the other thing is, it's great getting these BKBs online. Nick also almost has an Aghanim Scepter done, but it does feel like there's kind of a lack of other team fight oriented items. It's so much magic damage. Nobody has magic resistance items on the cut. I don't know. We'll see how this goes, but it feels like Vision is going to win this one in a way. The team that gets that better initiation off, maybe.
Yeah, I think the Sadboys are learning. They gotta just jump this Drow, even if she gets kept alive and bailed out a bit by the team. As long as Drow isn't just sitting there right-clicking, there's not enough damage on the cut side. Right. So, this Slaughter is unkillable with an Ags and his puddles everywhere. Lone Druid, him and his bear with the ultimate true form are just super tanky. Ember just bouncing around. Just jump on Drow and then go from there.
Right. Well, and maybe at this point too, Fear feels like a bait. just like you said, go kill Moo and then kill the Ember, and make sure that Drow's hitting throughout it. Because it really does feel like Roya is the one that's been able to get on top. I guess Monster can be a problem with that too, so maybe it isn't just that simple.
And it's tricky because they haven't drafted much control necessarily. Like, Treant died at the start of that fight. He's the one who got kind of jumped out of the smoke, but even with Overgrowth, it feels like Ember with Yule's BKB has the answers for the control. There's no Hex hero. Like, the Shaman Lion, which could cause real problems, don't exist this game.
True. Well, down to 1,000 gold lead. Satanic is done for Drow on top of Butterfly with Manta and BKB and a Dragonlance. Might end up going into a Hurricane Pike next as well. Anything else that's really coming out that might change things? I guess there's going to be a Shard for Treant, but I don't know. It's scary.
Yeah, we've got all the tier 4 neutral items. Some, I'd say, good ones overall on both sides. Both sides getting a Spell Prism, I believe. The Stormcrafter, pretty useless on the Radiant, so they're not going to be too happy with that. But, yeah, I mean, I think both teams are kind of at their timing now. It's kind of, let's wait for Roshan to respawn, because that's going to be the focal point for both teams once it's alive. Until then, it's kind of like, let's play this map control game. The cut, they control top. Sadboys, they control bottom. Both teams just trying to spam out mid using their Treant, Nature's Grasp, and whatever annoying spells they have that can just push lanes.
Yeah, whenever they can, and not present those targets at all along the way is, at least for now, holding on to that outpost up here. And Roche 40 seconds until it's possible to respawn, but down bottom they need to deal with this wave here.
Oh yeah. And that, I think there is a bit more pressure on Sadboys to make plays because they're on the dire side, so it's a bit harder to control Roche, which is why, strategically they're thinking, okay, what do we do? Let's keep this bot lane push so we force someone to rotate, and then we go for a smoke. Great move coming out from Sadboys.
Bingo. Gets caught, gets killed.
And no buyback. Potential Roche in 15 seconds. Surely it doesn't respawn before Treant's back, but we'll have to wait and see if they get unlucky.
Yeah, that would be unbelievable if that happened. We'll see how quickly it comes out.
I like this gem pickup too from Monster, looking to, understanding this is it. We're at late game. Vision has been the deciding factor for so many of these fights, so I'm just going to make sure we have a gem, and I heard a BKB.
Yep, that was Ryoya. Just testing. It's working, guys. Don't worry.
Good to know.
It's a 6-second one already anyways, so doesn't
Making
really
sure the spell
matter.
prisms... Yeah, he's got the spell prism too. It'll be back in no time.
Anything else that's coming out here? The level 20 for Vol, Mortimer's Kiss is slow. They are going to smoke up right now with one. Oh, it's just the Ninja Gear, excuse me. But it's a DD down bottom.
Oracle's level 20, pretty nice. Minus 20 on the False Promise, assuming Mu can stay alive. I mean, he's got Glimmer, Blink, and Aether Lens. He should be staying alive, but...
And freaking Ninja Gear. Yeah.
Yeah, oh, geez, you're right. I think between those 4 items, plus the Slaughter having a gem, so there's no Vision to worry about.
Right.
Mu should not be dying at the start of a fight, unless something crazy happens.
That's actually so crazy good for Mu right now. Like, that collection of items is everything he needs.
The only thing you could maybe want as well is like a Aeon Disc, I would say.
Right. But he'll get there eventually.
Yeah, he could. Maybe it's not maybe there's better items, because
What the
I'm
hell?
not sure about where he is.
Vol
Oh.
popping ulti, scouting out where everybody is. They actually spotted the monster puddles. That was very strange.
That's a long cooldown.
Yeah.
And Roche is up.
Yeah. Okay. We'll see. Dude, something that could absolutely blow this game wide open too if Fear gets towards it is an Aghanim Scepter for him also. Like, if he can force people to TP back to deal with that bot lane eventually, that would be really annoying.
Yeah, split push Dota has been kind of non-existent for quite some time, but I feel like this game and with it Bear Ags, this is one of the scenarios where it could be very influential. But there is a storm to deal with it, but both teams pulsing around Roshan, recognize Roche is king right now. This is Roche number 3 with a Refresher Shard. Not the craziest Refresher game, pretty good on Lone Druid, pretty good on Mars, but not like game-breaking.
Really good on Ember too, just to get, if you throw out all the remnants and then refresh it and
Sure.
do it again. It's pretty hype.
Yeah, refreshing BKB in the middle of a fight, that could be really good. I like that idea, more than the Lone Druid.
He's actually queuing it up. I didn't even realize that he is on Rhea.
Oh, well, forget Refresher Shard, he'll buy his own. Neither team want to go for Roche, and we'll see Fear pressure the high ground now.
If they can if you can force him back with this is really, really good. But it's just going to be Pingu for now, and he obviously has the tree armor. But that means they're split.
Yeah, this is awkward for the cut. This is where the inexperience, being a younger team, they're just not quite exactly sure how to handle these late game scenarios.
Yeah.
Like, do we TP back everyone? You don't want to split up, but at the same time you have to, because you got to deal with this split push, and if you TP back all 5, you're not pressuring lanes. They know, it's late game Dota. You got to pressure, like what they're doing mid and bottom is really good. They're pressuring these lanes. So the response here, I like. But they got to get to Roshan now.
This is where it gets really tricky. It's going to go down so quickly. They're not going to be able to get there in time. It's already dead. Oh, man. That hurts. Aegis, Cheese, Refresher, all going on to Sad Boys. And as you talk about that experience...
They're taking this fight?
All right, they catch there on to 1, but still they haven't caught Oracle. They have no sight of him. George McDuck getting ran at by Monster, just pops the BKB, run right at him. Turn around BKB, Satanic though.
Okay.
It's a lot of damage. They take down Monster. Turn it onto another now afterwards. The spear connecting him onto a tree. Scourge McDuck is doing so much damage in this fight. Now the turn,
The
they
Bear?
catch and kill Mu, able to find him. Bear doing a lot on his bridge, but he's still living. Scourge McDuck backs away, able to live. Rhea's right on top of him, and is going to be able to find enough to find that kill. The buyback on a tree. Rhea might just clean up here, actually. Godlike on this Ember, looking for more, tries to remnant away. The jump forward, Pingu tries to catch. Does he have anything left in the tank? The spear touched by the sleight of fist. There wasn't anything to latch anyways. But in the end, kind of even exchange there, thinking about this in terms of an Aegis.
Kind of even exchange in that, if anything, you kind of then have to say, well, then it's probably the cut favorite.
Yeah.
They managed to take out Aegis, Refresher Shard was used, Ryoya, that was a double BKB with a bazillion fire remnants flying around. And the cut still held their own. The Drow was 2 seconds away from another Satanic that could have completely turned the fight around. Lil Nick's got to be careful, though.
Oh, no.
Ryoya's in hot pursuit. Doesn't have fire remnant charges, though, so Looks like he'll be okay. It looked like at first Mars wasn't sure about whether they were going in or not. He had the high ground advantage, but then it looked like his teammates were backing off, and then they were like, no, let's actually take this fight. So it wasn't like a coordinated start to the fight, but yeah, this Drow is just getting massive now with level 25 and the cooldown reduction. Things could start to look a little bit dicey. I mean, we're just in crazy late game. Things can go all kinds of fun ways. So
it's true. And, you know, if we get into that 60-minute items at some point here, man, this would be a hell of a game for a Ballista if you are the cut. That would be really solid. For now, just going to keep that Philosopher's Stone in the inventory for the moment. Get that extra gold. The efficiency. Love to see it. So
tier 5 items always funny because you never know if you're going to get one that breaks the game or be really dissatisfied. Like if Dire get a Ballista, they're like, well, there's a waste of a tier 5 item.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, what am I talking about? Hoodwink, of course. Amazing Ballista carrier.
The best in the world. I mean, we've seen how good it can be on a Wyvern earlier this season, you know? It saved the game against Envy. It's the truth.
Yep.
But the net worth lead, much less important at this point than the buyback status. And that's where we're at right now with the buyback on Snapfire and the Treant, and then also the Slardar. The Slardar buyback definitely big.
Yeah, buybacks and just general map control vision is going to be much more important to look at. Not sure what happened to the gem. It looks like, okay, it's over on the Z-Freaks Hoodwink now, so still hard for Rain to get vision, but the idea is, late game, you just get vision on a high ground hill and you just play around it. So they're going to be playing around their triangle, around their Ancients. They haven't dewarded Sad Boys yet, but they know this mid to top side of the map is where they feel safest. Pingu, not so safe.
No, he is going to get taken down. And a quick and easy blow up. No buyback, which they know about, of course. But now going to try and take this outpost as well. Ryoya sees the heroes on his outpost and realizes, all right, probably should back up a little bit. He's almost level 32 for the double sleight of fist charges. God, he is so farmed.
Ooh. And just getting all those other talents along the way make a nice difference, I feel like. Getting Spell Amp with the sleight of fist damage, so just absolute beast when he hits that level 30, though.
A smoke up from Sad Boys. I mean, again, we talk about it being a good late game lineup from Lil Nick as he gets caught, gets the zip away. But I think the other thing that you mentioned, which is that late game decision making, in a way that feels like it favors Sad Boys, just because of the experience that this team has in these situations.
Agreed. Also, this Slardar 25, this is going to be one of the best 25s in the game. Undispellable Haze is going to be very problematic. I guess they don't have that, dream hero like Rain. They don't have the Drow.
Right.
They've got the Ember Sleight of Fist and they've got the Lone Druid. Pretty funny to see the Lone Druid Spirit Bear being the priority for the False Promise, but it totally made sense and actually saved the fight for Sad Boys. So, yeah, we're going to see some very crazy team fights from both sides, I feel.
Well, and the Undispellable thing, the fact that now you also have the Shard on Slardar too, so he can apply it in that big AoE. Means that Sleight of Fist, that's going to be doing a lot of damage.
Oh, it's just so nice when you can just blink crush and not, because usually you have to blink and then you're like, do I haze then crush, or if I crush then haze, I'm not right clicking,
right?
Or do I prime the bash? So just having that auto haze is just so nice.
Yeah. Does only last for 5 seconds, but still, it gives you enough time till afterwards. Get it?
Yeah. It just often that hero you jump with a blink stun is going to die so fast, particularly if Ember's following you up. So.
Right.
Really nice. It looks like Ember's going to have his courier back alive so he can get a refresher orb out. We mentioned this earlier, how big it can be.
I kind of feel like Nyx needs a Shiva's this game. Some armor item. Because, I mean, if he gets hit by that, he is going down to negative armor almost. It's going to be close to it, combined with, the Solar Crest or what have you.
Yeah, I like the Shivas a lot. I think it maybe would have been better than the Bloodstone. I think you do need this Hex late game for an insta catch, but yeah, I'm not sure the Bloodstone's doing a whole lot for him. But
oh, look at this!
We'll see if they can get some charges.
They could go here on the Ember. I mean, he has BKB refresher, so they need everything perfectly timed. The pull is there. They have the arena spear down, caught him. Perfect execution by the cut.
Perfect. There's unless Ember BKBs as they're flying in or somehow gets off a slide, like there's no real reacting to that.
Yeah.
And a great execution as they had to hit that spear or he would not have died.
So a very important pickoff now. Again, getting close to Roche, which feels like it's mattering a little bit less to some extent. It's just playing on the map, trying to dodge away from fights whenever possible.
I agree. It's slightly less important. I think someone like Drow, you can drop your treads for an Aegis. But overall, yeah, it's not having an Aegis doesn't necessarily change who has the advantage in a team fight. It's still going to far more come down to who gets a better initiation off, for example.
Right.
Volt's trying to get 25 mid. Okay, he gets it. What's he getting here?
Mortimer's Kisses.
Mortimer's Kisses, okay.
I mean, the little shredder, like applying the AoE minus armor is kind of cool, but I don't know. We'll see. Ooh, can they force a buyback here? They catch already. On to Fear, looking at the backlines for Moo. He showed. They got him caught in some trouble, and Moo likely to fall. Fear also gonna go down, but the big jump in. They bought back from Roya. He wants to save this fight. Scourge McDucks, they turn onto him with the BKB, and they Satanic. He's living through it. They catch now onto the Slardar Roya.
Storm out of
on
mana.
all of them. A second round refresher goes all in and takes them down. Look at the remnants fly. The madman of this Ember Spirit just killed the whole freaking team. Dude, Hunter's Mark, please. That was wild.
Oh boy.
That was...
And they're not done. They'll get Tingle King.
Takes it down for more afterwards. The Mars ends up falling. How much damage did that dude do in that fight? He's looking for more. Oh, Scourge McDuck.
He buys a full Lincoln's too. Okay.
He's trying to go in for this. I mean...
You're on a Minotaur Horn.
They turn, they right-click, right? BKB takes it off, bushwhack, and they force out the buyback from Nick. That's what they're looking for there. Wait, what?
Is he going to catch Ryoya? Ryoya doesn't have BKB. He's fishing.
Okay. Tries to get him. Goes on Z-Freak first. Now out of mana. Oh, Nick. He has BKB. Has the Bloodstone. All right, he's going to be fine.
I think he knew that was such an aggressive buyback from Lil Nick, but I'm totally okay with it because if he kills Ryoya there, they just win the game. So he's just like, okay, this Ember just committed BKB to get out of Gus. I'm going to buy back. One, because it looks like my Drow can be in trouble. But two, if I kill this Ember now, we just win the game. So it doesn't work. It does set them up perhaps to take Roshan. Unfortunately, it's a very slow Roche respawn. So they're not going to be able to just waltz in right now because, 60 seconds on Slardar, 30 on Lone Druid. They know Ember's, being forced back to his base. They could just take a quick Roche, but it's not available to them. Very hectic fight. The Ember had to make a very tough call there. He had about 25 to 30 seconds left on respawn. Usually you don't want to buy back when it's that low, but he just commits to it, buys a full Lincoln's, and destroys a fight, which if he didn't, because Fear didn't have buyback, that could have suddenly gotten really ugly for sadboys if Ryoya doesn't make the kind of crazy plays he did.
And we're seeing the value once that BKB is down of all of those remnants laid down on top of one target, Like 5 remnants, 1,500 damage, and then everything else that you're doing naturally too. It's pretty devastating. And then, of course, like the double Sleight of Fist back up again also. There's a reason that this hero can, just be an absolute god in the late game. But there's also some other things now to consider. This has put a pretty big dent in towards that sheep stick that Lil Nick wanted to get to. And it feels like this next Roche becomes that much more important because all those buybacks were used. And as you said, it feels like it's likely going to be everybody back up by the time it comes around.
So, will we reach 60 minutes, Lyrical? That is the big question I'm wondering right now.
I think so. It kind of feels like it, right?
Yeah, with the if teams want to wait buybacks, then sure, 6 to 7 minutes is most of these buybacks right now, which are all on cooldown. So, I'm hoping we do. I feel like it's happening. Unless there's a crazy fight at Roche where, heroes are going to die without buyback if there's a Roche fight. So
that's the other thing too, is that like depending upon the fight that happens, the next fight will just end the game. Like it could go either way at any point. Like the game could end 2 minutes from now, very easily. But that would, if just because of how quickly these heroes take towers.
Yep. I like this Blink pickup from Drow. Blink instead of the treads.
Okay.
Just feels like positioning and that insta mobility is more valuable than, tiny bit of movement speed. Or at this point, it feels like a tiny bit of movement speed. Blink Spear mid is going to be dodged by Ryoya.
Okay, silence out afterwards. There's the Yule sharpshooter taken by the Treant.
Yeah, that hurt. he does have buyback, so one of the heroes that can, put his life on the line to maybe push out a wave or just basically tank some spells in the front lines. Like, we've seen Trian often be the one getting jumped when he didn't have buyback, which I think is fine. You just want to make sure you have buyback as a support in these late game scenarios. So, there's a 5-man smoke coming your way. This is, be great if Trian could tank the 5-man smoke gank, reveal the smoke, and then buy back and set up his team for a good fight.
Oh,
Tingle King himself, Ninja Gear, scouts it and gets out.
yeah. Nice play there. And both of them were in between the cores that didn't have it. So very dangerous situation there for him too, since he obviously did not have buyback. I would love to be able to see Pingu get towards an Aghanim Scepter. I feel like that's one of those items too that can kind of change the late game scenario a lot as well. But we'll have to wait and see. As Z-Freak going to check Roche, it is going to be back up now.
I mean, I'm kind of learning and getting used to this hoodwinking competitive Dota, but this Acorn shot as a scouting tool looking very potent in general, not just now, but throughout this game. He's using it with the gem to deward. Again, just going to keep throwing in that Acorn tree into Roche, see what's going on.
All right. Fear pops into true form to play a little bit more in the aggressive part of the area. I think both teams now realizing that Roche is up. Tingle King, they are underneath their own ward on Sad Boys, but team's getting a little bit close, and Pingu's nearby.
Yeah. I think Sad Boys know there's a ward on that hill above Roche.
Yeah.
But they're not going to deward it because they know they're going to get jumped.
Illusions heading on in. They're able to break there for the moment. Tingle King trying to walk into position as well.
And something you said, Fear is kind of the bait here. It's like they want them to go on Fear so that Ryoya can have a field day in these fights.
Looking for it. Ryoya spots Tingle King there. Vol also. They have that corrosive haste. This is the other nice part. They're going to be able to scout it all the time.
Oh,
and they jump in right at the start on a Pingu. Dead, buys back immediately. Tingle King, good arena down, but is it going to be enough? Mortimer's Kiss is doing not that much in this fight. Meanwhile, the jump forward, trying to bring down Scourge McDuck. They want to protect him. Force Staff to the low ground. Remnants on top of him immediately. The cookie to get him away, but Scourge McDuck has to back, has to run, has the Satanic no longer. Gets turned on, gets killed. No buyback Drow. Can the rest of them get out? Can the rest of them survive without the Drow? There's the long duration route that's going to connect onto Tingle King. He is going to fall, and they take down Pingu to boot. That's 3 heroes dead, no buyback. Nick has to push out these waves. All of them have to buy space.
Oh, no. Yeah, and there's too many waves. They're coming in mid lane. There's a wave later on in bottom. I think they're just going to go for the throne, and they kill buildings damn fast with this lone druid, so this could be tough. Volt is going to cookie. Look for the wave. Nice cliff, though. Yeah.
And now
they knew that was coming.
Backdoor protection is down. They pop the glyph for this tower because they know that more is coming. So they do manage to at least stop this backdoor protection. And there's one more wave, which Ember has. They're protecting this wave. And they might get a lot off of this even before then. Where's backdoor?
They're going to go for the tier 4. It'll come in, like, there's a delay, so it'll come in about 5 seconds time, I would say.
All right.
There we go. It's kicked in.
Now, can they
But
deal
they
with the
got to get
bottom
this creep
wave?
wave down. Yeah. Once this bottom wave comes, things are looking good. But Storm is on the case.
Dude, they're actually taking down the tier 4 towers even without it. Oh my god, what is Donna? They're just out-damaging backdoor protection. I don't know if they have enough.
Coming mid.
They pull onto all. Nick pops the BKB. They turn. They try and do some extra damage. Cookie, it's not enough. Bull tries to back
They're
away.
Get the creep wave.
They got to do it.
Creep wave mid.
No, it's coming in, and they got it now. With creeps inside the base, it might have all been too much. Another pull in with Mortimer's Kiss.
Okay.
It's a ton of damage. Freya almost goes down, but no, Lil Nick is going to fall. That was the one last grasp. It's not going to happen. Sad Boys will 2-0, finding their first win in the cut, still winless in the NA DPC upper division.
Oh, I thought with how this game was going, all teams were going to be at least able to win a game, even though they can't all win a series, perhaps. But unfortunately, the cut, it's been the story with them in their previous series. They get so close. They look like a young, learning, growing team. They look, promising in a sense, like, I would expect them to do very well next season in the lower division, if that's where they find themselves with the same roster. I would expect to see them in the upper division again in the future, even though they are one of those kind of bottom of the pack teams. I don't think they were out of place here in the upper division. And yeah, unfortunately, they just can't get the win here. Crazy late game Dota, just not a place where these young, inexperienced teams are going to shine.
It's true, and that's really, I think, that the heart of what NADPC is about, though, is giving these teams that experience that they need to take the game to the next level. Because in those moments, you know, sort of need to be able to harken back to those memories of this has happened before, and now we know how to react in the future. Although, if we're honest, we never really know how to react. Nobody knows what the hell happens in late game, though. It's wild.
Yeah, Ryoya was having a good time. 65k plus hero damage. The next highest is like, I don't know, 40k on the storm. So he absolutely, showed up this game.
That's right. The real carrying it there for the Sad Boys as they manage to find their first win of the season. It comes late. They're able to get it in the end against the Cut. We'll be back in a few with the panel to break down all the action. But for now, we're going to head to a quick break. See you in a few.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. It is going to be the Sad Boys who win the bowl and get the first win for themselves here in Season 2 NADPC. And unfortunately for the Cut, they will be bowing out of Season 2 without a win. I'm back with Jenkins, and I'm back with Suns Fan to help break down that series here. Gentlemen, as mentioned, it was a bit of a fight. There was a moment in there I thought that we were going to see a win for all of the teams, but, I think kind of Parker said it best there at the end, Jenkins, is that for a lot of the more experienced players, when you get to the end game, that's when they can really start to shine. And, the more younger players, they've been grinding the mechanics of the laning phase. They can get that part really good. But when things get into the later game and you got to make those professional, top tier kind of calls, that's where the difference shows.
Yeah, the problem is just the, sheer number of times that you've actually executed a late game scenario like that. An example that a good analogy I think I would use to describe this is like, imagine trying to learn, the mechanics of a hero like Clockwork. If you go into an actual game and you are throwing the hook around, you're probably going to use it like 10, 15 times during the entire match, depending on how long it is. But if you do that in a practice lobby, you can do that. You can practice like the hooking mechanic 1,000 times in the time it would take to play a normal match. And so all I'm saying is that there are different components to the game of Dota 2 that you can practice in different scenarios where you actually get a lot of experience, doing that thing, even though you're spending a lot less time doing it. And the problem with these like late game scenarios is you need a 5v5. This is something that you can't just be like, oh, hey, you guys want to hit up some late game practice later tonight? We'll just go simulate like a 40-minute game. Nobody does that. It doesn't happen. This is something that you can only get through experience just due to the sheer nature of what it is. And so, I don't blame the Cut for being outplayed by these players because, like you said, they've just done this so many times before.
Suns Fan, they did it. They got it done. Z-Freak, your man that you love so much, you're always so biased about, finally gets the W. How's it feel?
Feels great. I'm a representative of Z-Freak now, gentlemen, apparently. They finally get, and it's not just a victory, a 2-0 victory. The second game was quite close, though. I thought from the other side, Nick had a good game this time around, started to snowball a lot thanks to the vision. I thought that was a huge deal from the early to mid game. Something we didn't mention is Slardar is, like back in the day, kind of a counter to Lone Druid because he put the amplified damage on the bear. Obviously, they were on the team together, but I thought Little Shredder basically did that. So they're actually able to kill the bear pretty early. But the split pushing, once that started, it felt pretty hard for the Cut to get back into the game. I mean, Ryoya with Ags, that hero is insanely fast and hard to catch once he gets that Aghanim Scepter. You got the leveler on the bear. But yeah, it was a really good game overall.
Yep. And looks like we do have a winner's interview ready to go. We're going to have none other than Ryoya himself join us on the broadcast. Ryoya, GG's and welcome.
Oh.
What's up? I think we can hear you just a little bit, hopefully. It's good to finally have you guys on the broadcast. Obviously, a tough season for your team as you still figure things out, but you finally got the W. So I'll just kind of ask the age-old question. How does it feel, or at least what does this win mean for you guys, if anything?
I'm not really sure if it means anything. It's just, sometimes it feels nice to win after losing a bunch of games. But I don't know if anything really changes. Like, I don't think anyone's like, proud of winning like one series. Like, you want to kind of want to make it to the major and stuff. And yeah.
I imagine you guys have potentially your eyes on the bigger picture. TI, are you looking at these opportunities like this one against the Cut and perhaps your next series against Quincy Crew as possible practice or lead up to something like TI?
Yeah, I think for us and probably the majority of teams, after you kind of like get knocked out of major contention, everything else is just practice at that point for the next series of qualifiers.
All right, now wonderful little pop off there at the end on the Ember Spirit. Of course, I have Jenkins and Suns fan here to assist me in picking your brain a bit. Jenkins, I'll throw it your way.
All right, my first question is do you guys feel like I personally think you guys looked a lot better against the EGs and Undyings than you looked at the start, and in the interviews you guys have been talking a lot about like finding your identity as a team, and I'm curious, do you feel like in the last few series you've found more of your identity, and if you have, what would you say you changed as the season progressed?
I think for every role, I think there's like heroes that people kind of prefer, and there's also like the really imbalanced heroes of the patch, like like offlane has like Broodmother and stuff. And yeah, I think sometimes it's hard for everyone to get whatever hero they want. I think some roles have to be like prioritized. Like you can't pick the best heroes for every role and try to like play that way, or your most preferred heroes for every role, because sometimes the five hero synergy just doesn't match up really.
Yeah. Oh, that makes sense. Okay, so I got a meme question. So I know you like your MMOs. I'm wondering, are you playing anything else outside of Dota right now? Are you on the full-on Dota grind?
Recently, I've been basically playing Dota all day, like 10, 12 plus pubs. But I dabbled in some Maple Story before.
Okay. Maple Story 2?
No,
Or just
one.
Maple Story? No, okay.
Yeah.
Edgy. Very edgy. Okay.
Ryoya,
Sounds fair.
congratulations on the victory today. Can you talk to us about, because we talk about this a lot on the panel, and we obviously have no inside information onto it, but you guys probably came in with higher expectations than what you're finishing with. What has the mood been like? Has it been upbeat or not?
I think the mood is pretty fine for like the majority of the league, the season. And then like towards the end, like you kind of lose a little motivation, like so you don't like you don't like try to like actively talk as much as about like strategies and what's good and stuff, because next season there might be like there might just be a new patch, so it's kind of hard to like keep building.
Okay. And what about expectations going forward? Talked about TI Quals a bit. Will you guys change your name again? Do you regret changing your name from Penta Ace back to Sad Boys? So many questions.
I don't really mind either of the names. I didn't really mind, but some of the team members had some aversion to the Penta Ace, so we just switched it back.
I see.
Yeah.
Did you ever get any bad recommendations for names from some of your teammates that you just had to veto and you just had to settle back on the Sad Boys?
I think we had some suggestions that people wanted, but everyone was too lazy to set it up themselves and like get a picture and stuff, so they just defaulted to the one that's already done.
All right.
Oh, it's
Fair
classic.
Fair
Good shit.
enough. All right. Well, Ryoya, thank you so much. Congratulations on getting that W here in season 2. You have a pretty rough matchup ahead of you against Quincy Crew, so we'll await and hope to see if you guys can possibly play spoiler. We'll see you then.
Thank you.
GG's, Ryoya. Take care. Lots of love for him and the Sad Boys. Maybe not such a sad day for them after all. A little bit of a win, but you can tell by the mood. It's overall as a season, like you said, Sun Fan, they were probably expecting a bit more for themselves. We know these players, their accolades, their credibility, and the experience that they have and what they're able to do. But you're not always able to kind of get what you want when you said in the draft, and then also always able to execute on the ideas that can follow up from it. So we'll see what they can do. They have Quincy Cruz still ahead. I wouldn't mind shifting to check out the standings real fast there, production, if you got them ready. Yes, they do. Let's check it out, because I imagine we have a bit of an update here. Now that the Cut have completed all of their series, they are done here for season 2. Lots of love to them. Scourge McDuck, the famous or infamous Tingle King, Lil Nick and company. It was great to chat with them all season long. I'm eager to see what happens with them and this team for TI qualifiers and such moving forward. As we move forward with the rest of this week, though, gentlemen, we're going to finally get to see some of the top dogs finally go toe to toe. Your EGs, your Undyings, and your Quincy Cruz soon to meet up in just our next shift, I believe, which will be upcoming on Thursday. So I'm looking forward to that. But we do have a lower division match that we are going to be delving into next here. Arkosh, as you can see, updating there, going against Picado Squad Gaming, which is going to be set to happen in just under 30 minutes time. But before we get into a break and all that, I would love to get your early opinion on this one, Jenkins, because as we have come to learn, it sounds like you're going to have to step out, unfortunately, again, to get some sort of procedure done. Can you tell us a bit about that?
I have a bicep surgery that I need to attend to. Unfortunately, whenever you work out and grow biceps as large as I've grown mine myself, you actually have to get some.
There. Yeah.
Yeah, you have to. That's only a little bit of it there. That's actually my finger. So the whole arm is just off camera, and there's some tendons that I do need to get cut. Just like I think Picado, they cut their best player off of their team, their mid player P1, and I don't know what that was about. There's maybe some drama there. Maybe he was having some internal maybe he had an ego, or there's so many ways that you could like frame it where he gets kicked off there. But it is weird when a team does that. But it does happen in Dota, where like the quote unquote best player by everybody's standards gets cut. Maybe it has nothing to do with play at all.
Yeah. Suns fan, before we go, do you have any parting words and good lucks to Jenkins before his bicep surgery? It's kind of a big deal.
Yeah, I wish you luck. I was going to mention the other day that your biceps are looking abnormally huge. So glad to hear that they will be reduced in size, which I assume is actually what's going to happen. Good luck, sir.
Yeah, that's a good thing. Also looking huge and beautiful is this XPG laptop over my shoulder. Did you guys see? It's a new laptop, by the way. We got a brand new one set in here. That is the Xenia XE Lifestyle notebook. That's right. You may have heard me say that a couple of times, because that's the very same notebook you can win in the giveaway. That's right.
This is bullshit. Why the hell do you have 2 of those? Do I not have a laptop? Why do you have 2? Why would you need 2?
I'm not allowed to touch them. I have to be within 5 feet at all times. I have a restraining order against the laptops because they are so beautiful. Look at that thing, the XPG Gaming Lifestyle Ultrabook. It can be yours if you enter the giveaway below. Scroll down right now on your screen. There's a big giveaway thing. It probably says XPG right there. Click it. Guess what? Guess what you just did by clicking that? You have supported North American Dota. You have done it for free, and you have just entered yourself into an opportunity to possibly win that Lifestyle Ultrabook. And if you don't, maybe you might win the Summoner Gaming Keyboard. All of this coming with some sweet BTS merch. My man, Suns fan, a Summoner Gaming Keyboard. I mean, what would you do? What would you do with your life?
Well, I would stop having sores on my wrists because I am a gamer by habit and by lifestyle and by everything that you can, any adjective you want to add in there, gentlemen. But yeah, lots of sores on my wrist.
So it'll
from,
eliminate
misuse.
It'll eliminate 10% of the sores on your body then.
That's right. Most of my body is comprised of my wrists and forearms, so it would definitely help towards a healthier lifestyle in general.
So knock out 10% of your wrist soreness also by checking out the XPG Summoner Keyboard. Shouts to them, of course, for supporting North American Dota and the NADPC League. We are going to head to a break now. When we come back, Neff joining us on the panel to cover Arkosh versus PSG. We'll see you for that one.
Come on!